Thanks for joining us on the John Mendola Show. We are driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers. Let's talk Mid-Valley Baseball. Ryan Kropa, the head coach, joining us right now. Coach, you have a nice squad. You guys are out to a great start in the Lackawanna League. Talk about your seniors first. Those guys are the leaders.
Absolutely. We have 4 seniors. This year, Pat West, Craig Kalinowski, Alex Broxa, and Zach Nemitz. Have been involved in the baseball program. Actually, Pat West came back. He was a hockey player, and he tore his ACL. So he had to take a year or so off from rehab and the surgery. But, he's really helping us fill our void in the infield and a spot starts here and there and coming off the bench and key situations. He really, is enjoying his role. And, again, as our coaches all do and preach to all our guys, everyone's role is important, Same thing with Craig Kalinowski. When our other starting first baseman, Sean Homachek, pitches, Craigie's the first one there. He enjoys his role. He also is very good on the base path, so he's a nice courtesy runner. And again, he just enjoys being in the game. He's one of those guys that help us kind of stay up no matter what's going on throughout our season or our game. And again, everybody's role is very important. And I can't say enough about Alex Broxa and Zach Nemitz. Just 2 great guys. Been starters for the past bunch of years, even before I took over. So it's great to have, like you said, that senior leadership that helps from the top down.
Coach, one thing that we talked about on WILK Saturday morning at 10 o'clock live in studio with your guys is you got a loose group. Tell us about that looseness. And there's good parts to it, and there's sometimes some bad parts to it. But overall, it seems like the guys are responding. When you guys are out to a great start like you, I'm sure there's definitely a lot more positives.
Yeah, and that's just kind of like the way these kind of guys are. We can't be too hard on them at times, too, and we want to make sure they enjoy being there. We had to spend a lot of time in the gym with the way the weather was, and I know we're not the only team around here, so we had to kind of keep it loose, and things kind of do get old fast. So we made it fun, we worked hard, and like I mentioned on the radio too, sometimes I have to question, wow, do we really get a good workout in? But the way we've been playing, you can obviously tell that our kids are prepared and they're mentally tough, which is kind of what we've been preaching about since before our season even started. We kind of didn't have that toughness as much last year, but I think the kids learned from it, and I really think that's going to be one of those kind of things that helps us be more successful this year than compared to last year.
3 of the juniors last year had a pretty good bat as sophomores. Here they are in your junior year. Tell us about how those guys are doing. I know you have more than 3, but tell us about, in particular, those 3 guys that are doing well for you, Ethan, Jacob, and Cody.
Absolutely. Ethan has really started the second half of the season last year. He was a tough out. Same thing with Jake, and it's funny because those guys I don't think are even clicking right now. They're just kind of starting to hit the ball a little bit between Ethan and Jake, and even Cody. It was more of a mental thing I think than with him, but he's really focused, and he had a big walk-off hit the past few weeks, and I think he needs some confidence. A lot of the times it's nothing fundamental is wrong with the swing. It's that mental side of it. And, right there, I think where he kind of saw for himself that it wasn't much what he was doing, it's what he was thinking about in the batter's box. And then we have, Johnny Homachek, again, who he was always a great hitter. And last year, I think it was tough coming into the varsity, and I think he kind of psyched himself out there last year as well. But this year, he's hitting extremely well for us. Big situations, big hits, and he's always, cool as can be. You never kind of see him get rattled, and he's always up there, taking his pitches, wasting there, and he gets one, and he gives it a rip. So he's having, those guys' bats have been, really a key element in our success so far this year.
Talking with Ryan Kropa from Mid-Valley Baseball Program here on the John Mendola Show. We are driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers, locations at Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, Kingston, Hazleton, and Williamsport. Well, Coach, sophomore R.J. Goolsberry is pretty darn good, and he's one of those guys that could do a little bit of everything for you.
Absolutely. And R.J. last year, we wanted to get Alex some time on the mound last year, and we had a couple of sophomore freshmen there that were kind of battling for that spot. And R.J. set himself apart from the rest, and he continued to do so this year. And like you said, he does a little bit of everything. He's been playing. He played third base this year. He's played second base. He's been behind the plate. He's been on the mound. And everywhere we put R.J., he is worried about he is playing a new spot sometimes. You can't tell in the game. He's focused. He's got an extremely high baseball IQ. He understands the game. He knows what to do in certain situations. And as a catcher, being a general on the field, he kind of knows where everybody is supposed to be. So I think that is really extremely helpful for him as well. And He just enjoys it. If he's not at practice, he's out scouting games. He was sending me text messages from a game he went to see yesterday, and just he wants to anything he could do to help his team better, and that's R.J. Goolsberry for you.
Coach, we talked about a good handful of these guys. How about some other guys that are playing a role there on your team and doing positive stuff for you, whether it's in the infield or the outfield at Mid-Valley?
Absolutely. We talked about on the radio the other day. We had an outfielder go down in the fall or in the winter time with basketball. So our corner outfield spots we were a little nervous about the season to start. And our first couple games, we had guys like Brendan Davies and J.J. Glinsky and Colin Shear. We even had some other guys that would kind of pop out there. We had Donlin out there a little bit, and Shawnee and R.J. and even Zach Nemitz. But our sophomores and freshmen, from J.J. to Brendan to Colin, we even have guys like Anthony Giovanoli and Corey Jackson that are just enjoying the role and pushing our guys to get them better and getting a spot pinch run here when there's an important run on the base, and just understanding that, hey, it's not always about them. It's not their time to shine yet, but they're going to work hard and push our guys and do everything they could to get their opportunity. And hopefully when they get it, so far so good. They've took advantage of it, and I know we're ready to go no matter what happens.
Coach, the Lackawanna League, there's good competition. In the Wyoming Valley Conference, good competition. When District 2 AA playoffs shake out, it always seems to be a great battle, and you guys hope you're in that mix when it's all settled down come May.
Absolutely. Us too. We definitely have our tough league. I mean, it kind of seems, we keep talking about, one day at a time, preaching one day at a time. And the way our season's going this year, at least in our league, it's exactly what it is. You never know who's going to have, the pitcher on the mound day and calls going their way. And, we can't think about, things down the road as much now, too. I'm trying to keep the guys focused and just say, hey, we have upcoming teams coming up that's important. That's our goal. We have to take one game at a time, and then we worry about everything else. So it's kind of hard with games every other day or so to even focus on, the playoffs as far as that stuff goes. But, I hope we do make a nice run this year, and just for these kids who have been working so hard and really want that itch back that they had from 2 years ago when they did make it to the district championship, and they know how close they came and how that felt. And like I said, of being so close to the season from when basketball took it over. And they did a great job with our basketball season, Coach Abda and Coach Galley. And our kids were in the stands cheering them on for the most part, and they want to be out there. They want to be wearing that medal, So that's something that's been their goal since the season started. And right now, all we got to do is say one day at a time and hope things go our way.
Well, great to hear some positives, Ryan. Always great to hear you promoting your team because the young men, they're great to see, great to have in studio, and great to hear about them here on the JohnMendolashow.com. So, Coach, we wish you well the rest of the year.
Thank you very much, sir. Again, we appreciate the time and the opportunity. So, go Spartans.
All right, Ryan Kropa, Mid-Valley Spartans baseball team here on the John Mendola Show. We are driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers.